This is going to be epic. Today I'm starting my second long juice cleanse, and I cannot wait to get into it and share with you my plan for how I'm going to do this one and apply what I learned from my first one. So I know you guys are going to love it. Are you ready? Let's go! What's up, guys? Blake here. Welcome back. The first juice cleanse that I did was so epic, and I just don't know how I'm going to ever top that. If you guys clicked on this video, you probably have already researched juice cleansing or juice fasting, and you might have come across the infamous mucoid plaque, where people do a juice cleanse or juice fast, whatever terminology you want to use. I'm not really dogmatic on either word. And along the way, they start to have these eliminations that are quite unusual. And when you look at what comes out of you, you realize that, after being on a juice cleanse for a couple weeks, for me it was like 2 weeks, and then you start having these, these eliminations, as let's call them eliminations, right? You're like, wait, that's not anything that I have eliminated recently. And so you're like, that is uncanny. That's crazy. Something about going through that experience and realizing that, one, mucoid plaque is real. Okay? Let me say that again to all the naysayers, to all the people who are like, no, it's just, it's a myth. It's, whatever supplements you're taking. No. It is real. And I have photos of it. I might share one with you guys as I'm filming this right now. I'm not sure if I really want to show it to you guys, but maybe I will, or maybe I'll blur it out. I don't know. But I saw it with my own eyes. And going through that process, something clicks where you realize that you are, as a direct result of what you're eating, your body cannot eliminate all of it. And so it gets stuck and it gets stored inside your intestinal tract. And that starts to accumulate. And some people say, like I know Lauren Lockman, who is a fasting expert and has a fasting clinic, he says that on average, people carry between 10 and 20 pounds of this gunk that lines your intestines. Okay, I didn't end up weighing mine, but what I can tell you is that it was a lot. It was at least a couple pounds, probably, 5 pounds-ish, all right? And when I did my first fast, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. My birthday is in February, and I just went all the way raw, kind of like as a New Year's resolution, but myself, like my New Year's resolutions are like permanent changes that I want to make. They're not kind of like a flash in the pan thing. And this has been something I've been working up to for a long time. I've been tapering down my cooked food, tapering down my animal products, and now was the time. And of course, when you're looking into the raw food lifestyle, you come across fasting and of course juice fasting or juice cleanses. And you're like, oh man, I definitely want to do one of those as well. And so I bought all the equipment. I bought the Nama juicer. I bought the glass juice jars. And I was ready to go. I wanted to get everything ready to go for after my birthday though. See, my birthday's in February, and so I was going to do the raw diet for, like a month and a half, January and, most of February. And then after that, I was going to do the juice cleanse. But as fate would have it, something crazy happened in, I guess, the second week, or the end of the first week of the year. I was in a yoga class and something snapped in my ankle. I didn't think anything of it. I even got my steps in afterwards and was fine until the next day, where I was in excruciating pain and couldn't even walk on that ankle. I was hobbling around on one leg. And I know that Lauren Lockman and other influencers in this sphere, the raw food, fasting, modern natural hygiene sort of movement, they talk about how fast the body heals when you're fasted. And furthermore, it's often spoken to that animals, if they have some sort of injury in the wild, they will stop eating, and even sometimes stop drinking water as well, and they will heal extremely rapidly. So I was like, oh man, I wasn't going to do a juice fast until after my birthday, but I want to heal fast. This is extremely annoying. I really haven't had many injuries in my life at all. And so I wanted to get back on my feet. I was scared. I hate saying that word. I was scared of gaining weight, actually, and sitting there being sedentary. And even though I was eating raw foods, salads, fruits, smoothies, bowls, delicious, very amazing cuisine that's very healthy, I knew that if I'm going to be sedentary and I'm going to be eating, there's probably going to be a caloric surplus or an energy surplus, to where my body is at risk of storing those calories as fat. And I did not want to do that, because I have a history from way back, almost 25 years ago in high school, where I lost a lot of weight. And that was the tipping point. That was the life change that led me here before you today. And that was a whole long journey. And as you guys continue to watch my content and get to know me better, I will share little tidbits and you'll be able to put together the pieces. But if I was to do a video like that now, it would probably be like some sort of documentary. I don't know. Because I'm 39 years old. A lot has transpired. But I feel like, of all the things in my life that I like to do, sports, outdoors, music, travel, the one thing that has been a non-negotiable in my life is not reverting after that weight loss experience that I had in high school. So I've been on the fitness bandwagon. The main diet that I've been following this entire time, to the best of my ability, is the alkaline diet, where you try to eat foods that keep your blood pH, and I should say just your body's pH, because you have more than just blood, you also have lymph, in an alkaline state. And the idea there is that any sort of disease or inflammation is not going to be able to thrive in an alkaline diet, or in an alkaline pH body. But I also employed the 80-20 principle. I allowed myself cheat days, and I allowed myself certain other things that I don't do anymore, like, alcohol or cannabis. But I just kept on working at it. And lo and behold, the diet that helped me lose 100 pounds in high school, the alkaline diet, is basically the raw vegan diet, guys. And so, fast forward, here I am, busted ankle. I want to heal fast. I don't want to gain weight, because that is a non-negotiable for me. I don't mind sitting on my butt and doing nothing and just boringly binge watching Dr. Morse content on YouTube, or John Rose content, or Lauren Lockman, or Dan McDonald, or Jillian Berry, or Fully Raw Christina. I'm addicted to this stuff. And like I said, you guys will learn why somebody like me, who my favorite food was prime rib growing up, and meat and potatoes, as somebody from Minnesota. I live in Florida now, but the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes, that's what I grew up on. So, and I'm also not like a super, I mean, please don't take this out of context. I love animals. I absolutely love nature. I think it's a travesty that we're destroying the nature in our world. Oh man, and that's a whole nother video. So we'll do a video on that another time. But I didn't come into this realm. I didn't come into this lifestyle, with the mentality of, the reason I'm doing it is to save animals. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I came into this because it was the most logical, sensible diet for humans, considering how our bodies are designed, considering that our primate relatives are frugivore species, meaning they live off of raw fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, and that our digestive tract is nearly identical to the great apes, yet we eat like we're a lion, or we eat like we're a dog, or a chicken, or a pig. Okay, they have extremely different digestive tracts, different textures to their villi that are coating their intestines. They have different length ratios of their digestive tract per how long they are, per how long their spine is. And so I was like, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this raw thing. And now I have a chance to put this theory to absolute factual test. Let's see how fast I can heal a snapped ankle. I think it's my ATFL or something like that. something snapped. Okay, my cuboid bone is still mislodged. So I have one of my friends, Dr. Lance. He's working on it with me. We're going to see what we can do. I can walk on it and sprint on it and do everything, but you can definitely see that there's kind of a protruding bone on my foot. So this was a very serious sprain, and I'm like, let me do the juice cleanse now. I'm not going to wait until my birthday to do the juice cleanse. I'm going to do it now. We're going to heal this freaking ankle. So I'm not going to gain weight. And then I'm calculating the time that I have. Okay, by the time that my birthday comes around, then I'll get off the fast and I will start eating the raw diet again. And that gives me about a 3-week window. So I'm like, perfect. We'll do a 3-week juice cleanse. Boom. And so I did it, guys. I did it, and everything was going amazing. I was learning so much about just the different flavors of the juice of something versus the taste of something when you eat it. When you eat a cucumber and then you juice that same cucumber, there's just a different flavor there. There's a different sensation because you're not consuming the fiber that is in there. So you start to come up with these juice recipes in your mind and you start to mix and match. And I started to realize, man, the mono juices where it's just one fruit, with some lemon, or, one vegetable with some lemon, those are delicious too. But I came up with a few greatest hits that I will soon be sharing with you guys as a result of this second juice cleanse that I'm doing now. And I want to compile them and give them to you guys in maybe a recipe book, or maybe part of the book that I'm writing called The Raw Food Lifestyle. But basically, what I eat when I'm not on a juice cleanse, I still eat juices, but it's just juices, smoothies, salads, bowls, and mono meals. Okay, it is really that easy. So you'll learn more about this as we talk about it. It's a huge topic, and I just want to continue to share my knowledge and help you guys along the way. And so throughout that juice cleanse that I did, I was just I was vibing. I had so much energy. I was losing weight. I was learning about the different juice recipes that I like. I didn't feel hungry. I was still mostly exercising. I was able to start jogging because of my ankle injury. Slowly but surely. Probably still crack it right now. I don't know if you heard that. And I was able to lift weights, and I kept up with yoga. That's like my saving grace. I was doing sun salutations and light yoga, and then sauna and ice bath to get the fresh blood to the injury. And lo and behold, 2 weeks in, I started to have these very watery stools. And as a result of the watery stools, I was going to basically quit. I was like, man, I still have to live my life. I still have to go to the store. I still have to go to the gas station. I still have to sit at this desk that I'm standing in front of right now and work my online job. And even though the bathroom is right over there, I mean, I'm telling you guys, this was uncomfortable liquid stool type of situation. And, one name that I forgot to mention, Shane Sterling. This dude, he's got the Raw Vegan Heroes group on Facebook. But he puts out so much free content because, what you're going to come across in this realm, in this field, is you have, some people they're going to have their ulterior motives. Some people are going to be dogmatic that their way is the best way. But for the most part, even though these creators feel very strongly about what they're doing, they're doing a service to humanity by putting out free content for us to learn from and to consume. And so I remember, from watching Shane's stuff about doing juice cleanses that, he would recommend doing psyllium husk and bentonite clay. Okay, because what that does is it binds to this mucoid plaque, right? Okay, it binds to it, and then it kind of like puffs up and expands, okay, to give it a little bit of volume. And then the peristalsis motion. You guys like that? The peristalsis motion, okay, of your intestines and of your digestive process has something to like grab onto. When the mucoid plaque is just kind of halfway lodged in there, or it's just starting to or disconnect rather from the surface of your colon, your intestines. It might be hard for that peristalsis process to like move it through the digestive tract so your body can eliminate it. And that's where the psyllium husk and the bentonite clay really come into play there. So I'm like, all right, let me just try that. I'm not going to quit. I was a little bit opposed to using the clay and the psyllium husk. I'm like, well, that's not really a fast, okay, because it's not. And then, okay, so after a few days of this liquid stool problem, I was like, let me just do it. Let me just give it a shot. What have I got to lose? Because I wanted to go actually 23 days, not 3 weeks, 21 days. I wanted to go 23 days so I could, that's my lucky number is 23. So there you have it. I have this psyllium husk and bentonite clay mixture, about a tablespoon of each. I mix it with some water, okay? And then just make sure it's all mixed in together extremely well. You don't want any clumps whatsoever. You make a slurry out of it. Drink it down. The very next day, I did that in the evening. The very next day, I had no liquid stools. I had no, except for number one, going urinating, I had no eliminations, okay? The day after that, the day after that, I go to the bathroom and I have a full out movement. And I'm like, oh my God, that's just the psyllium husk and the bentonite clay, right? Because a lot of the people who are naysayers to this mucoid plaque phenomenon, they're like, oh, it's just because you're taking the psyllium husk and the bentonite clay, and that's, that's what you're seeing in the toilet. Okay. No. I have my movement, and I'm like, okay, that can't be. That can't be the infamous, the notorious mucoid plaque that everyone keeps talking about. And I get up, and I made sure to not use any toilet paper or whatever just yet, because I wanted to see what it looked like down there. Get up, I look down. Oh my freaking gosh. Okay. It's the mucoid plaque. It's looking exactly like the photos of mucoid plaque that you see on Shane Sterling's videos, that you see on the Detox Academy Instagram. Okay, you guys, if you're out there and you're listening, take notes, take heed of all these people and all these resources that I'm giving to you guys. It's very valuable stuff, because this is my mission, is to help you look, feel, and function your best by consuming more raw foods in your diet. But this goes way deeper. This goes into like your quality of life and your health and things like that, that I'm, because of the restrictions and the algorithms and everything like that, we're going to skirt around that very, very smartly on this channel. Okay. So there it is. The infamous, the notorious mucoid plaque. I did it. I eliminated some mucoid plaque. Wow. That's crazy. I take some pictures of it. I literally can't believe it. I'm like, wow. I mean, I felt so much better after that movement. I felt so much better just not having liquid stools. This is around like day 15, 16. And I just couldn't believe it. So that's that same evening, I do my little slurry of the bentonite clay and the psyllium husk again, making sure that there's no clumps. Because the clumps, if you have any diverticulitis or diverticulum, which are little bubble pockets that form from the SAD diet, okay? It's a very sad diet, the standard American diet. And then it can get lodged in there, and you really don't want that. It's like called impaction or something like that. You really don't want that. So just to err on the side of caution, just slurry it up. So I have my other slurry. Next day, going around my business. Maybe I did a jog, maybe I did some yoga, just very light exercising, doing my work. I go to the bathroom again. I'm like, that can't be. That can't be what I think it is again. And oh yes it was. I can't even believe it. It was the same as before. It might have even been a little bit larger. This time I pull it out with like a spatula. Don't worry, I threw the spatula away, guys. It was an old spatula. And it is like this rubber tire. It is not breaking. I'm holding it up like this. It's draped over, the spatula with about 6 inches hanging or more hanging out on either side. And it's like a bike tire. It's rubber. Okay. That's not That is not just the bentonite clay and the psyllium husk going through your body. Okay. Maybe some of it bound to the mucoid plaque, but I can't describe this texture to you guys, and I can't really adequately describe the experience to you guys. You can do whatever you want, right? But I'm saying you have to do it. Okay? That's just how I talk. You have to do it. All right? Do whatever you want, but you have to freaking do it. You have to do this for yourself. There's no chance that you don't have any of that stuff inside of you guys, and you've got to clean it out, because that is the root cause of all the toxemia in your body. And your body is a bunch of systems. It's a system of systems. And we all have different genetics. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. And you can think about that system of systems that is your body as a chain. The chain is only as strong as the weakest link, of course. So wherever you might have genetic weaknesses or previous problems, that's going to be where that toxemia catches up to you. Okay? Some people, they get arthritis. Some people, they get... I don't want to start naming these medical terms because I'm keeping my channel squeaky clean, okay? We're about the raw foods and we're about the juicing. But you can do your own thinking using discernment, and you can see that what I was talking about with keeping the body alkaline, all these things are making you acidic. All this material, all this matter that's stuck inside of you, and it's creating a cesspool inside your body. You got to get it out, okay? And I did it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day. For a week, I eliminated mucoid plaque. Guys, every single day. I have pictures, okay? So you make your mind up. You make your decision. You feel how you want to feel about this. But because my birthday was coming up, I got my 23 days done. And I decided to eat some raw foods, some fruits, some nuts. I had some dates. I had a raw Chipotle. That was like my cheat birthday meal. Okay? And I've been eating very, very clean and very well ever since, focusing on my raw food practice and building my body back up. Because, yeah, I lost some weight as a result of the fast. Maybe I wasn't having enough juice. Maybe I was working out a little bit too hard and not keeping my carbohydrate fuel tank full. Meaning, if you need more energy and your carbohydrate fuel tank is empty because you're not having enough sugars, you're not having enough juice, then you're going to start robbing muscle. And I have a lot of muscle to rob from, so it might not be as palpable for somebody like me who has a larger body type. But still, going into gluconeogenesis where your body is cannibalizing its muscle tissue is a no. Okay? I'm not going to make that mistake this time. But I also, in these last 4 months, I was still working my fitness back up to a very high standard, at least for myself, because I had that little lull in action from my ankle. I was able to get my mile times down, my bike times down, my strength back up, etc., all while being raw, guys. So I got to that point to where I'm back up. I weighed myself today. I'm 202 pounds. Like, oh my God. All right. I think when I was done with my last fast, I didn't use the same scale, and the scale that I was using was not very accurate. But I think I was in the 180 somewhere. And so we're going to get back down there on this fast. And this time I'm going to keep my carbohydrate fuel tank full. This time it's summer. It's not winter. So I have the beautiful, the amazing watermelon at my disposal. And you juice the rind with the watermelon, and you've got like all the strengths and none of the weaknesses. Like Blade. It's the Blade of juice. Okay? Because it's a green rind. There's your chlorophyll. There's your vegetable matter. okay, but it's also a fruit. It's got sweetness. It's got the fructose in there, and just tons of structured, delicious water. I'm going to subsist mostly on watermelon. I'm going to add in some citrus juice in the morning, okay? I'm going to have my little treat dessert juice at the end of the night, which is like an apple grape, okay? And depending on how I feel when it comes to if I want to be going to the gym and if I want to start working out crazy, then I'll add in more vegetable juices because they're higher in protein. And I'm going to experiment with some different vegetable juice recipes anyway. But the majority, at least half, at least a gallon, because I'm going to have 2 gallons of fluids every day, but at least a gallon of my juice, at least half of my caloric intake is going to be coming from the watermelon juice. Now is the perfect time, guys. The summer is the perfect time. I can't wait to continue with this juice cleanse. I can't wait to see the results of my last 4 months of hard work rehabbing my body and even pushing to a new level that I haven't been in a very long time, if ever. If I weigh 202 pounds right now, I think the readout said that I have something like 30 pounds of fat on my body because I'm 15% body fat. So if I lose 10, 15 pounds of fat, I'm going to be shredded. And if I keep myself out of gluconeogenesis and keep my carbohydrate fuel tank full, I'm going to retain most of my muscle mass. I'm very well hydrated. I have 60% hydration, which is actually really high. Most people are 50 to 55. And every time you move up another percent, it's harder and harder and harder to get higher and higher and higher. So 60 is pretty dang good. And that's just from being raw, guys. So I want my hydration number to also move up. This is so exciting. I can't thank you guys enough for just being here and supporting my journey. And I also want to support you on your journey, on your path. So if you guys want, go ahead and click the link below to schedule a consult with yours truly. Right now, I'm doing a free consult that's only going to be until I can get my book of business built up to where I don't have time to do free consults, but I'll have more freebies and more content for you guys who aren't, quite ready to jump on the book of business for my coaching clients. Either way, I'm here to serve, guys. Go ahead and subscribe, punch the like button, and until next time, everybody, I will talk soon. Peace.